I
Jesus
know.
Christ.
Oh, take
Fuck you,
two.
Craig.
Take two.
Fuck you, Craig.
This time
Fuck
it's actually
you.
recording.
Okay, we're recording for real this time?
Yeah, we're actually recording this time.
Jesus.
Yes, we are.
Oh my god. Okay, I feel like a jackass. Alright. I'm about fucking deja vu. I'm gonna re-say this shit all over again. Okay. We are recording on July 3rd. Obviously, the recording actually gets published around the 7th if we're lucky, which we're probably not. So King will probably have it up by the 9th or the 10th. So there's that. As many of you know, there's kind of been a gap between the releases, and I'm gonna let my co-host explain.
All right, guys. So the plan is with Ferret 100 Quest being bi-weekly, we decided to make sure that we try and do things. We want to try and do it bi-weekly, but obviously life can be a bit of a pain. With it being bi-weekly, we are able to always be able to talk about 2 Eden Zero chapters as well as a Fairy Tale chapter.
So
And
you're
with Eden Zero,
you're a Nalu cultist, beastie.
no. So with doing that, it allows us to also go with the hype that the Eden Zero anime is coming as well. So there might be a bit of focus around Eden Zero as it comes up, especially with it just hitting 100 chapters. That's the aim that we're going to try and do, is do bi-weekly, but obviously sometimes it might be late. If it is, shout at Spidey, not me. Or shout at King, because he's never around, actually. Shout at him.
Yeah, fuck that. Shout out King. Alright, I'm getting enough bullshit from people on Tumblr. Fuck that.
King, you're taking the heat for it.
Share the heat. Fuck all that shit.
That's fine. I'm not even around 90% of the time anyway.
That's why it's always late. You see? Just own up to it. Sorted. Problem solved.
He's looking up fucking happy chapters.
He's looking at Barb's World End.
No, I'm reading that hentai you linked me a couple of weeks ago.
First of all, it is not a hentai. It is a shonen. All right. I'm
God,
a child
uncultured.
of God. I am a child of God, so I do not do that shit, sir. All right.
Child of God wouldn't swear.
Child of God would swear because he's disappointed in all this sinful act going on. But all right, motherfucker.
That's convenient.
Hey, I'm American, okay? We pick and
That's
choose.
irrelevant.
No, because Americans pick and choose what they want.
I don't think that's a good thing.
No, it's because when the British were dividing up countries, Australia got the criminals, Canada got the French, and America got the Puritans.
Actually, I've got a question. If the Australians got the criminals, right, how come they've ended up the best out of all of us? Like, what that complete
I don't know. I mean, the Canadians are doing pretty good up here. I'm pretty happy.
But like, no one ever blames the Canadians. The Canadians are doing their own thing. They're like the UK but on steroids and just better in every other way. No one ever complains about them.
I mean, the Canadians are like the French. They don't get in a fight because they'll always lose.
There is that. I mean,
yeah, that's not really how French history works, because they've really only surrendered in the one war.
Yeah, but
they've lost. War. No, I didn't say they surrendered. I said they lost, sir.
Well, they surrendered after the loss, and again, it was only the one war.
Hold on, you lose, then you surrender. You're meant to surrender before you lose to avoid loss. Come on now. Come on, France.
They took the L twice. For France.
Well, no, it was more like they just got their asses kicked. It was kind of a loss, and then they were just like, "Yeah, fuck it, we give up."
Oh, so they got the half loss, and then they got the full loss. So 1.5 losses.
No, see, but I'll cut the French some slack because they really support Majima and the Fairy Tale series. So you know what?
Yeah,
I cut you French some slack.
And we're getting a lot of French people in the sub, and we appreciate all of you lot joining. I know it's difficult with us not having too much French involvement around. We do try our best, but the more of you lot that come, the more that we'll obviously try and add.
Did I do that thing for the server? Oh, so yeah.
No, not yet.
Okay. We're completely focused. Okay. So I think I mentioned it last time, but this podcast is solely focused on the Discord now. It's nothing with the Reddit or the Wikia. It's solely Discord. So we've already done some of that before, but we're making it clear now that it's solely for the Discord. So obviously, people on YouTube could join the conversation and comment. I don't look at the comments because if I'm on YouTube, I'm not on that website, on that webpage. So good luck with that. So if you want to start a conversation or join the conversation, join the Discord. It's linked in the thumbnail and in the video, even though it's just a still image. But like Dab said, there is a lot of French folks in the server, and something I've forgotten to do is simply so with the increase and influx of French users, we're gonna add more French channels. Obviously, we're not gonna get it over the top because we're not gonna make the whole server French because no. But we're gonna have like one or two more channels just to give them more leeway to talk. I think we discussed that, but I never got to it because life's been kicking my ass pretty bad. I've already mentioned it on the Discord, so I'm not gonna mention it here. But yeah, so there's that aspect of the server, and then we'll talk more about the server a bit later. So
Bouncing off the YouTube comment that you said, I just want to
Yes.
do someone. It's Abhinav. I think that's Gnarly God. I think it's you. You said you're having a hard time differentiating the voice. So what we can do, I'm sure there's other people because I have seen it in the server asking who's who. Don't know how you don't know that I'm the British one that sounds like a mug, but what we'll do is we'll each say our name. That gives you guys an idea of what we each sound like. So I'm Dav. That's Spidey. Doesn't know his own
no,
name.
hold on, no. I was gonna have the fucking happy lover go first. I was trying to be polite to the Canadian.
Who's that?
That was King.
That was King, and the guy speaking now is Spidey. All right.
Cool.
Just
So now I
remember-
don't want to see any comments about not knowing who's who. Yeah. Okay.
Just
I'm seeing
remember,
it
the one
now.
who swears the most is Spidey. The one who talks the least is King, and the one that sounds sophisticated is Dev. Simple.
Sophisticated, my fucking ass, bro.
Yeah, it's a fairly accurate breakdown, I'd say.
I mean, hey, I said you sounded sophisticated, not
That's
that
the
you were.
first time I have ever heard someone call me sophisticated. I
Oh, it's because you got
appreciate it.
it's the accent. All right, it's just the accent. Don't let it get to your head.
Bro, my head's
Yeah,
already...
things do tend to sound smarter with the British accent. That's just kind of a given.
Oh,
Yeah, bro.
okay. I'll take that. Smart for once in my life. Okay, so... Feels bad, man. Alright,
So
so...
let's get to the news, Dad.
Absolutely.
Fairy Tail game. We've had some more
Yes.
news on it. You took
Yes.
your time, was it yesterday, I think it was, where you wrote up a whole FAQ on the Reddit.
I wrote if we go by Microsoft Word standards, it was a 7-page document with over 1,800 words. I broke down everything that we know about the game. So there's that. If for people who are worried, because I know me and you were talking earlier on the Discord, and you were kind of worried and hesitant about the game because it's an anime game. But the more information I fed you, you were like, "Oh, all right, my expectations are a bit higher now as opposed to when I first read them." So I don't know if we want to talk a bit about some of the break down some of the posts, or if we just want to skip towards the next topic.
What we could do is just take some of the important aspects. So, for example, it's going to be on PS4, Switch, and Steam. The PC specs, for to run minimum, they're not that difficult to run minimum-wise. However, with the way the game looks like it's being made, whether you run it at minimum and it looks good is going to be a completely different story. As well as the recommended, the PC I just got recently can run it just above the recommended, and my PC myself cost about £800. That's like $950 or something. So, like, for PC wise, it might be a little bit intensive, but I'm sure there'll be something you can work around in the settings, because usually anime games do have quite a bit of settings that you can turn down.
And going off of that, some of the specs that I found online were either 4 GB memory, NVIDIA graphics card, GeForce 510 CPU should be Intel Core 2 Duo E840, and OS is TBC. I have no idea what any of that means, but those are the PC specs. So
Best thing you can do is go onto Steam, check the system requirements. It will be there. Obviously, if you can get the minimum, that's at least you can still run it on low. But bear in mind, remember with Steam, you have 2 hours to play and refund. So if you get it, you can play it for 1 hour and 50. And if it doesn't run very well, you can refund it. Just make sure you give an actual reason. Good one would usually be computer doesn't handle too well, or it's not what you expected.
well, see, if you write it's not what you expected, it looks bad on the series, and you don't want to do that.
Well, that won't affect the way Steam do refunds. They don't take those into account when they do their numbers. They don't actually, because people can put anything and everything for refunds. 99% of the time, they get given if it's under 2 hours.
I don't mess with Steam. Sorry. Another thing that people were excited about were the 16 playable characters.
Yeah. Oh, there they are. So we've got Natsu, Lucy, Gray, Urza, Wendy, Gargio, Juvia, Rogue, Kagura, Sheria, Sting, our boy Ichiya, Laxus, Mira Jane, Jalal, and Gildarts. With guest characters, they're not playable, but they can join your party and can perform a range of powerful magical abilities, including those featured in the anime and the manga. Altair, Leon, Flair, and Minerva.
Yeah. So one thing I don't know if I was able to properly project or detail that is guest characters are essentially they're gonna be in your party for certain aspects of the game, and you'll be able to like fight alongside them. So which is cool. It's kind of cool if you think about it, because you're gonna be able to fight with OT, or you're gonna be able to fight with Leon, Flair, Minerva. I know. Well, I'm not sure about Makarov, because they did talk about Makarov in the beginning, and then they haven't really talked about him since. So it's kind of weird. So I didn't add him. I will try to update this FAQ as I play it, and
If I can
Sure,
just
we'll get
chime
more
in, I
info.
do think Makarov appears to be another one of the side characters insofar as the recent
Good talk.
does
Nice.
seem to suggest that he'll be an available party member.
And regarding the whole party dynamic, if you played Final Fantasy games or something along those lines, or even like Kingdom Hearts, chances are you'll probably have a decent idea of what this game is going to do with those types of characters.
So it's a five-player system, party system. So you have kind of like Team Natsu. It has the five essential characters. You could choose between the five you want. Different characters have different interactions. One thing to note is that this game takes place from the battle versus Hades in Tenro all the way to the end of Tartaros. So that's exciting if you think about it, because there's so much content in between. And then one thing that I really liked was that Mashima is heavily involved in this game.
I think you got here written about unison raids that were created by him, new ones that we've never seen before.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's
a couple. There's even one that they released an image of recently, which is an Urza Mira Jane unison raid.
Yeah, there was a trailer for that one. There was Lucy in her star dress with Natsu. That was another one. That was a couple of them with Lucy in star dress with Natsu. So that's interesting. And I'm gonna get a quote from here. Basically, so Azario Lopez from, if I'm not mistaken, Noisy Pixel basically asked, licensed games are pretty strict with what the developers can do with their characters in terms of custom DLC and story content. And then they basically asked, how creative were you able to get with the extra costumes or story liberties during the development? And the developer of the game, Kaisaku Kikuchi, basically said, Mashima-san has a lot to say about his IP, and he is always thinking from the viewpoint of the fans. During development, he actually encouraged us to add more. In that sense, it was really easy for us to work with him creatively. There were things he was strict about, like certain characters wouldn't wear certain costumes or be in a particular situation. So obviously, this shows not only is Mashima heavily involved, but he doesn't want it to just be like some freaking fan fiction type thing where characters are doing this because obviously Machinima like really loves his series and he has to make sure that everything is just right, which is in my opinion is really cool because it shows Machinima really cares about the series still and that he still cares about the fandom. Does the fandom deserve it? I'll leave that up to you.
For all the Juvia fans out there, Zario asked, I know this is cheesy to ask, but do you have a favorite character? And this was to Keisuke. Favorite character was Juvia. His quote was, Juvia locks her. However, I didn't always like her and thought of her as kind of obnoxious. As the story went on, I've discovered more things about her that I like. So I can imagine that he found her a bit obnoxious up until like after Battle for Fairy Tail, maybe when she started to show her love for the guild before she was even properly part of the guild. And the fact that that's all the way from Tenro, I'm telling you, Juvia's gonna have the best like everything because this dude, she's got the best animations, the best pixels, the best designs. I'm gonna have a whole Juvia arc. I'm calling it. There's gonna be a whole like episode 220, 413 days, best episode on the show. There's gonna be a whole episode on that where you walk around as Juvia being a bit sad, and until Grey's like, "It's okay, I'll wear the scarf."
You know what? I don't even doubt that might actually happen because I mean it's kind of crazy how Mashimo was clearly an Urza fan. Yuta, the mangaka for 100 Years Quest, is clearly a Lucy fan. He stated in his interview a while back. And now the creator of Gust, or the creator of the Fairy Tail game from Gust, he's like, yeah, I'm a Juvia fan. It's kind of interesting how the three main people from Fairy Tail have different favorite characters. Now, development of games usually takes 2 to 4 years, and that's exactly how long it took this game. So this game was in active development for 2 years, which means like they were actually working on the game and it wasn't just a planning process and all that, but it took them 4 years overall to get it done. So the first 2 years was them planning and figuring stuff out, like the legal stuff and licensing and all that. And the other 2 years was actually building the game from the ground up. So I know I was a bit skeptical when they kept delaying the game. But when I did all this research and information searching, it made me think that they were delaying the game because it wasn't up to Mashima's standards. And, you know, if Mashima wasn't approving of it, they wouldn't release the game. Or there was something within the contracts that maybe, you know what, we can't release the game if he doesn't sign off on it. So I'm kind of hoping that it's pretty solid. So no pressure, Gus. One final thing I do want to point out is that so Rice Digital asked Kaisaku, do you have any hints as what to expect in future updates to the game? Kaisaku stated, while we achieved a comprehensive game adaptation of Fairy Tail featuring many characters of the series, there are many things we want to bring to the players. We are preparing new content that will be released after the game so that players can continue to enjoy the world of Fairy Tail. So this makes me feel like maybe they turn Dragon Cry into an expansion or Alvarez or, you know, Avatar. There might be future content. You know what? It might not even be crazy to think that maybe Heroes, if this game does good enough, one of the planned DLCs could be like the Heroes manga, where you have these different characters from his different series, but we still don't know what it is. But that line right there got me excited because if they're planning DLC, it tells you they're confident in their game.
The other thing that it does tell you, and I'm a little bit worried about, is if they're planning DLC already. I know it said that's all the way through to the end of Totoro's, but it's just a bit worrying about how much they might leave to DLC. Hopefully, it's only extra stuff, and it's enough of the game is actually implemented from the get go. I just hope it's not a case of where, like what they've done with Pokemon Sword and Shield. I know a lot of people have liked the idea. I'm not a big fan of it, but you know they had the whole Dexit thing where they cut a lot of Pokemon out. Now they got the DLC and they're giving you these Pokemon. Kind of sets a precedent that they can just do that with DLC each time. But that's just me trying to be on the negative Nancy side because I like looking from both sides.
I got you. No, I get you. The one thing though with the Pokemon were available as a free update.
That's true. That is true. They were actually a free update. I did forget about that.
So they did have that Isle of Armor thing, but that was just a separate expansion. But the Pokemon themselves were added as a free update where you could trade. But back to the fairy tale thing, kind of tying to what your skepticism, not your not skepticism, but rather your worry. The main storyline takes between 30 to 40 hours. Completionists can expect a 60 to 80-hour run. It includes brand new scenes and already animated anime and manga scenes. So there's content that Mashima made specifically for the game, and there's content that he already had out. So that's kind of exciting. Like you said, Mashima created these new Unison raids, which is kind of amazing if you think about it, because if we see them here, we might see them in future chapters of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. So there's that. But yeah, game comes out July 30th or 31st. Some sites say it's July 30th. My PlayStation said July 30th. Other sites and trailers. Yeah, other sites and trailers say July 31st. So one of those 2 days it comes out, and it's going to be exciting because this is one of the few anime games that isn't just a fighting arena game. So
one thing I want to touch on quickly is the difference between the guild box and the deluxe, the digital deluxe one. Guys, someone did ask in the comments, and Spidey did clarify to them, but just to let you know for those listening, if you're going to buy one of them, you're not going to get the stuff from the other. Right, so if you buy the guild box, it's going to get physical bonus content, which is, I think, it's like an art book, poster, and a couple of other things. But you won't get the digital deluxe skins. If you get the digital deluxe, you won't get the bonus physical content. So probably a best idea, in my opinion, if you're going to go big for the game, get the guild box for the physical stuff, because that's the one that's finite. The copies are going to run out,
Yes.
And if you're going to buy them, I don't know if those of you have looked around for example, I know Violet ever got them when the digital, like the collector's edition came out, that stuff sold out within like 24 hours. If you find it now, you're paying like $200 plus.
Yes.
It's just going to be exponentially higher.
Correct. And to add to that, Gus on their Facebook page did say that about 50% of all copies had been sold as of the end of, what was it, April or May? So
something like that.
If you're in the UK, because the guild box is UK exclusive, right? So France, Italy, Spain, all the UK, even England, good old England, even though they left Brexit.
We left Brexit.
Yes, but so you know what I meant, all right? You know what I meant. They left, Brexit. You could ship to the US. It's like a 15 British pounds for the shipping and handling. Yes, I can't say a pound because it's the weight. It's confusing. Anyway, 15 British pounds to ship to the US. It's not that bad. It could be worse.
About $19, I think.
And as far as the digital deluxe bonus content, that is said to be available after the game's release. I know the Miss Fairy Tale Urza suit is available to everyone who has the game before August 13th, and after that it'll be for sale. So what I'm thinking is that after August 13th, most of the DLC skins will be available for sale. How much they'll be, I don't know, but it's a pick and choose. You get the digital content or you get the physical content. And if you've been to eBay, you know that the physical content from Fairy Tail is expensive as shit. So you don't wanna just get the skins because they're just skins. As far as I could tell, they have no in-game bonus or anything. They're just skins for the game.
So how you guys if you're gonna spend big, just get the box. All right. It might take a little bit longer to get to. You might not get it on the release date, but get the box if you're gonna spend big. The extras and the digital deluxe, in my opinion, they're not worth it, considering what Spidey just said. They will come out again at a future date with the DLC as well, possibly. Either way, you're gonna get them. If you're gonna be spending extra just to get it now, it's not worth it. If you take that extra bit and just buy the guild box, be part of the finite people that actually have the box. And the box
No,
looks
yeah.
good. Not gonna lie.
No, yeah. If you just to end on this, if you go to the Reddit, it's one of the pin posts on there, and you could just see everything. There's some information we skipped on, like the combat system and just what to expect overall from the game. But there's also trailers in the post, so it's very extensive and comprehensive on what the fairy tale game is. So if you have any questions, more than likely they'll be answered there. Now, kind of sidebar, but not really. On the Discord, we will be having a new fairy tale game channel, and we have already implemented the fairy tale game role. So obviously, there you can talk about the game, but I don't want people talking about other stuff. So I don't want you talking about the beginning of fairy tale or the ending of fairy tale, because that's not what the game's about. I want people to solely talk about the game and the contents of the game, or maybe what you expect on DLC and stuff like that. But nothing other than that. Obviously, you don't follow the rules. You lose the what's the word? What's the word,
You
Dev?
use your permissions and your privilege to talk about it.
Yes, there you go.
Just follow the damn rules, people. Please.
Mhm.
Just follow the damn rules. It's not hard. That's all we ask.
Final thing. Dev and King, are you guys excited for the game, or are you guys still?
Still skeptical.
Well, I'm not
but I am very
actually
excited.
somebody who has those next gen console systems, so it's not necessarily something I'm concerned about one way or the other, but it's just interesting fairy tale content to look forward to from an outsider's perspective. So, in that regard, I guess you'd say I am interested. Although I would like to just add one point that earlier today, Koei's Europe subsidiary, I believe, tweeted out that their current availability for the guild boxes for those who pre-order the game is currently at a stock level of 10 to 25%. So you really do have to hurry if you want one
Holy
of these.
shit!
Cool. So
I
you
might not
see,
even-
guys.
I might not even open the damn box when I get it.
See, by the time you guys listen to this, it'll probably be gone. So I hope you've ordered. I hope you've ordered.
If you're really unlucky, by the time you listen to this, the game will already be out.
All right, guys. See you on the 30th of July.
See you 3 chapters from now for Fairy Tale.
All right. So speaking of fairy tale, we'll do that later. Eden Zero chapters. We've got 3 to talk about. King, how much have you caught up on Eden Zero? Where you at, or have you still kind of just taken? Because I know you started a new job, so you've probably been occupied with that. Have you managed to read much more?
Not much more. As you said, I did just start that job, so it has been eating up a little bit of my time, but I will try to make some time in the coming weeks to read a little bit more into Eden Zero.
We
Okay.
did-
No, we didn't, because there's the message link for the last time and stuff we spoke about. Or did we? I don't actually remember. Let me have a quick look.
Interesting. Okay.
To be fair, the chapter was hype.
All right. Well, fuck it. Look, guys, it's been a while. We're kind of disorganized right now because I'm fixing a lot of shit on Discord, and it's not just the Mashima Hub; it's other Discord servers as well. I'm fixing stuff on Reddit. Dev is helping me partner with people, and we're dealing with stupid individuals. So if we already talked about this chapter, get over it. We're talking about it again.
It's a good
Dev,
chapter,
you could
so.
start. Mm-hmm.
So, chapter 98 of Eden Zero, Advent of the Demon King. This is the one that has all the really nice pictures at the beginning.
Color spreads, yes.
Yeah, the color spreads that are absolutely great. Plus the one
Bikini
with a bit of
shots.
tentacle. Nice tentacle.
No,
part.
it was tentacles.
Yeah, there is.
You're
Yeah,
right.
tentacles. Yeah. Oh, Rebecca. Hello, darling. The chapter itself was very good. We saw Shiki finally, into the overdrive, and he's ready. He's staring down Draken like he just doesn't care. And Draken throws a punch, and to me, it looks like Shiki just catches it like it's nothing. It honestly looks like he caught it like it was nothing. And it honestly surprised me, but this couple, like few chapters ago in Fairy Tail, all of us were saying finally we can see Natsu use his brains when he brought Zeref through with the memory. Here, you can see Shiki using his powers to the best of his abilities. I mean, he created a little black hole. You know, I think he realized that there's probably no way he could physically beat Draken in the ranged form he was in. So he utilized his ether gear and just turned everything into a bloody black hole around him. And I think that was really flipping smart.
I'm not sure if this has been brought up before, but I will make a little parallel to Fairy Tail. Chapter 98 of Fairy Tail is known as, or it's titled, Dragon Force. And that's the first time Natsu goes Dragon Force.
And this is the first time we see Overdrive for Shiki.
Exactly, and it's in the same chapter, chapter 98.
Does something happen in chapter 98 of Rave Master?
Yeah, go read it.
Chapter 98, Rave Master Wiki, chapter 98. Let's have a look. Summary, nothing.
Why you do that? Yeah, they don't
Don't
have
worry.
anything
The
for
Rave Master Wiki is
it's a work in progress. Well, I don't blame it because it's a work in progress.
Oh yeah.
People seem to abandon Mashima's first series, but again, there is that parallel between these two series with Eden Zero and Fairy Tail, where chapter 98, you know, there's this thing where the main character gets a power up and just goes completely berserk. I mean, Shiki looks demonic. A lot of people were complaining that that should have been Natsu's look, but not sure if people fucking remember. Natsu said he's a human.
Oh god,
not a dragon.
You went off earlier about this. Come on now.
Yes, he's not a dragon. He's not a demon. He told Igneo, "Fuck you, I'm a human." But people still treat him as a dragon or a demon. It's like, no, don't be stupid.
Imagine raising your child as a dragon for years and then just now I'm human.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, Igneo has a. I can't talk spoilers because we're talking Eden Zero, but read 100 Years Quest and you know Igneo is a deadbeat, just like every other Fairy Tail parent.
Not wrong. Scale of the chapter, nice little fight scene with Rebecca and Homura. We see Best Girls really shine. We see, was it Sister Ivory?
Yeah, buddy.
Her plug in. She gets ready. She's gonna make it herself. She's gonna use her ether as the power source for the Eden Zero.
Yeah, because you know she's the best. So
and Shiki absolutely
Eden Zero only takes the best. Yeah, buddy.
I have to say, I think 98's chapters, not panels, so far for me, the art has been the best in this one. It's always been good, but this one, there was just so many panels that I screenshotted and saved that it honestly, there wasn't a single panel in this that I didn't sit and stare at for a while. So much was happening, there was so much going on, but it was also so simple to follow, so easy to follow.
It really was.
The chapter to me, I could not fault in any way, shape, or form. It was just so well drawn.
I loved the beginning of the chapter where you see just Rebecca and Homura's chemistry and their fighting style together.
Yeah.
Because it brought something different, something that we kind of didn't get till very later on in Fairy Tail. So I like that Mashima is making more of these characters their own and making them just so badass early on, and then not just like Homura, but also Rebecca and the Shining Star, the other Shining Star. So this chapter was great. You have Shiki just being a tank and telling Draken Joe it's night night, motherfucker, night night. Literally told Mad you're going night night. I was like, holy shit, holy shit.
And I don't. Like I said, it was very clear that Shiki knew he couldn't take him on like physically, so he actually used his brain and used his ether gear properly against it. And if I'm honest with you, that overdrive, I would love to know just how much of a power up the overdrive gives. Obviously, we don't want to get into very hashtag FT _ power levels, but you know, it would be really nice, even if it's one of like a little side panel that Mashima gives us, just an idea of how much power overdrive gives them.
It'd be interesting to figure out because I am intrigued. I want to know if it's the equivalent of Dragon Force, but since what is it, Ether Gear is more common in the series, I don't
It
know if
seems
it
like
would
every Tom,
be.
Dick, and Harry has it.
Yeah, I mean it's cool because it's not the same Ether Gear, but I don't know if it'd be like double the speed.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, maybe different people's overdrive give them different ideas. So maybe someone's overdrive will give them more strength. Maybe the overdrive depends on the ether gear. So if
Because
Whis gets the
remember,
overdrive, he can fucking
Jin had
fix
one
stuff quicker.
too.
Yeah, Jin had one too, and he was, I think, Foster when he had it as well. He gained a lot of
Yeah.
speed. See, what if is it Weiss? How do you say it, Weiss?
Well, I don't give a shit. I don't like the character.
What if his overdrive doesn't give him any kind of combat attributes, but it's more of a case of he is able to utilize his ether gear at a more precise rate.
Effective
Foster
rate,
rate.
yeah, maybe.
Mama's going to
I
build
just
the
read.
Edens too.
We're gonna talk about it later on because it's a future chapter. But his
Yeah.
room is freaking hilarious.
Oh, his room is.
Weiss, I think it's Weiss or Weiss. I like Weiss more.
Weiss
I
sounds
call
better,
him
but
Weiss.
anime is coming soon, so we'll know. Chapter 99, the pendant.
Oh,
Nice
we
little.
didn't. No, we didn't. We missed the most important part about 98. We
Which
get
part?
Jack and Joe's
Oh
backstory.
yeah, his backstory where he's a little kid.
Yeah.
So with that,
So
Natsu,
oh,
not Natsu.
not to the wrong series. So, but I do want to talk about his backstory a bit. It kind of reminded me of Zeref's in a way, where Zeref just wanted not immortality for himself, but he just wanted to bring his brother back because he wanted a friend, right? And this is the freaking Draken not wanting to die because he wants to make lots of friends. And it's kind of interesting to see how his own in his own twisted way, he was a hero for himself because, he didn't die and he wanted to make all these friends, but in reality, he was just a crazy overlord who was leeching off people.
I mean, the whole thing. The first thing you see when he's talking about background is his kids mocking him because they all realize that they are made to die at, I think it was like 15 or something,
Yeah,
for
15.
whatever reason. And he said, "Well, I mean, that doesn't make it. Why wouldn't you want to live longer? He was a kid with a dream." And then he started studying, same way Zeref started studying to do what he could to bring Natsu back. And that's kind of where it kind of divulged. You realize, what if I could turn other people's life force into my own, and maybe I could make friends. And then he gets Shiki with his. Was that Shiki tapping into his memories?
Yes, yeah, that was Shiki. Shiki was tapping into his memories. Mashima talked about it in the volume 10 afterwards, but it kind of has to do with Rebecca as well, with
Okay.
her leaper. So
So
I'm intrigued by that.
that's
Because
really
honest,
actually nice.
hmm
And we get Shiki's classic one. I'll be your friend.
And then at the end, he's like, "Psych, night, motherfucker."
I will say, Drakid was, in my opinion, actually a very enjoyable villain. Purely because of the fact he was actually quite a simple villain. All the guy wanted was his money. He wanted power. But he never he never did some skill plan. None of this, I'm jumping hoops to do stuff. He's just like, if you owe me money, you work for me. I'll give you what you want, but you got to pay it back. He was pretty simple to me. And he was effective at it. And if you didn't get the money back, well then, he didn't kill you. Someone killed you. That wasn't him. Because he doesn't kill people.
Yeah. He's like,
He
I don't
doesn't
kill
kill
people.
people.
Except in chapter 82 when he's like, "You're gonna go night."
So, Shiki made him go night night.
Shiki's like, "I remember, bitch. I remember."
It's my turn.
The Demon King never forgets.
Demon King never forgets. 99. It's the conclusion of the fight, and you see Draken actually. You see his body completely, die. Become old and decrepit as what it should be. And you see Weiss kind of lose his cool for obvious reasons. And you see another little parallel with fairy tale. The whole idea that Natsu always, Natsu never really wanted to kill anyone that was against him. It was always a case of he's
He
learned his
just wanted to
lesson.
beat the he just wants to beat the
Beat the
shit
shit
out
out
of
of
you.
him. They've learned the lesson. Let him be. Quite a common thing from Ashima, and Shiki's done it here. Like, don't shoot him. Come on, you could be friends. And Weiss made a good point. Could you be friends with a guy who took the life of someone you love? And Shiki's well, not probably, but maybe. Takes time.
Chiki's like, well, I tried to befriend him after I beat his ass.
Yeah. And Drakenjo kind of shows, he doesn't actually care. But we see Weiss isn't actually the complete, absolute dickhead that everyone thinks he is. He does actually, not actually shoot Drakenjo. Surprisingly.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of weird. It looks like he shot, but at the same time, you see that he just shot the ground next to him. He didn't really shoot him, so it was interesting.
We get a nice comeback from Seabeer. And the rest of the chapter is more of them just talking. We see Shiki crying again.
Shiki's a bit of a crybaby.
He is a little bit of a bitch.
People complained about Deku, and this is a tangent, I know, get over it. Deku crying a lot in My Hero Academia, but Shiki constantly cries. We've been 100 chapters in, the dude's still crying. It's like, bro, you're the Demon King. Stop crying, bruh. You just beat the shit out of a man. Come on.
And we got one of my favorite panels of Rebecca. Yeah, where she's just saying that we did it. We want to have it. I posted the screenshot of her face, not of the context, because I know King's not here right now, so it doesn't spoil for him. But that was a really nice little.
I'm gonna trigger the Eden Zero fan base, since I like apparently triggering every fan base.
Let's not cause a war.
It basically it's the Lucy smile, right? It's the same pose she does.
It's adorable.
No, yeah. I do agree. Rebecca is one of my favorites, so it's not me bashing the series because I like the series a lot. I might like it more than the fairy tale series, but time will tell. But it just reminds me of that's the type of smile Lucy usually gives Natsu when they like finally. I was about to say do it, but then the fandom would be like, "Oh my god!" So when they finally like complete the task. I also liked Moscowy's panel because his was funny as hell.
The one on the celebratory one.
Yeah.
Then
It's the same thing. We continue, and then we get to the best part of the chapter. We see Wise's room.
My dude's got a lot of nice pictures. They're definitely. See, also, I think it's pronounced Wise because on the door it's Wise.
You're right.
The door says Wise Private, which is obviously.
Well, private is like the military term for them, like
Oh no, I get that, but it says Wise, so I have a feeling that's how it's pronounced. Why wouldn't it just be spelled his name?
Maybe. I just realized that the girl, the winner, you see her full body in his poster. She kind of looks like Edela's Wendy, and the mark on her shoulder kind of looks like the fairy tale logo.
Yeah, it does.
Kinda, not.
I mean, you can if you think of it, you can picture it that way, but it's not obviously it's not a cut for cut.
No, it's not cut for cut because if he has a lot of bikini pictures though.
But I can see it.
The bikini pictures, I'm sure you can because it's all over the room. He has a booty shot. He's got the titty shot, and he's got the whole body shot, which is kind of funny. But good old Weiss.
And then, so the room's quite nice. Wouldn't mind a room like that. And then we see the little bit of a is it a flashback to the pendant?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we see a flashback to the pendant that he talked about previously that he thought was stolen. But apparently in the World 30, he gave it to Sibber. So that was really cool. I kind of like that. I kind of like
I
that.
like
How
that. It
they're
was a really nice look. Because when I first read it, I forgot that we're in 30 now. I forgot that for a split second, and I was like, "But that's not what." Then I clocked. Oh wait, we're in the next fucking world right now. We're in fucking timeline 30.
Then we get the fucking annoying piece of shit known as what's your name?
Like
Labilla?
Labilia, liability.
Livia?
I've seen different Lavilia. I've seen as well. Look,
Liability. Liability.
look. Okay, I'm actually personally a fan of her. Okay, personally, I don't mind her.
Why?
I don't know.
What?
Okay, I don't really know, but I don't mind. I think the character is a bitch. I'm not gonna lie, but like, you know, she's not that bad. And I feel like
No.
she's gonna be some good character development at some point. I feel like
Fuck
this.
no.
I guarantee you, mate. It's gonna be the Luxus
She's
version,
gonna
mate.
be
She's gonna
like
turn around.
she's gonna be like there's no fairy tale equivalent because every fairy tale equivalent is actually
Nice.
got in character development. But fuck this girl. She's annoying as shit.
Or even Lozana.
No, Lysana's okay. She's not bad. She gave Natsu development, and yes, I'm sure people are gonna say, "Oh, it happened in the anime. It also happened in the Fairy Tale 786 Omake, where we meet Happy for the first time." So, just saying, Lysana had some potential. This motherfucker though, she got a weird ponytail that's not even connected. She's annoying. She's a typical YouTuber. No
Bro,
thanks.
we're about to have the YouTube community just attack us now. What have you done, Spidey? The whole lot are coming after us.
The problem, I doubt it. They'll be like, "Oh, these guys are just talking anime shit."
Fucking
Never mind.
weebs.
The
Fucking
final page
nerds.
was the most interesting though because we know Rebecca traveled through the worlds, correct? And then she's remembering Captain Connor, but nobody else remembers or knows who the hell Captain Connor is.
And
And
everyone's
it's like,
quite shocked as well.
they're like, "What are you talking about? Like, who's that guy? We've never even heard of him. What?"
And poor Rebecca, you can see that this is where Mashima's art really shines because you can see the worry in her face. I mean,
The detail,
it's so
yeah.
clear that she right now her thought process is what the fuck just happened. she is right now. She's looking. She's like, what the fuck?
Like, yeah, you even see the sweat drop on her cheek
She's
too.
fucking
Yeah,
losing it, bro. She is going crazy right now.
she's like, what? Is this a prank?"
She
But
definitely has lost it, bro.
But that's the great thing in the fact that Mashima is not letting us forget that the World 29 is in fact not the same as the World 30, which is I find fascinating because he's telling you like shit is different. You're gonna have to realize that.
And the other thing, I thought about this actually about 10 minutes before we started the podcast when I was double checking the chapters to remind myself. I don't know if you remember when I caught up with Eden Zero, right? And I said that the whole thing that happened with Shiki, I felt like the effect that it had on the viewer, on the readers, was kind of lost a little bit because of this world jumping everyone's back.
Mm-hmm.
Though, as the chapters have gone on, and the more and more I've paid, because Rebecca's actually one of my favorites, I've paid more attention to Rebecca. And yes, to me, it has still a little bit eliminated the effect that the chapter should have had on us.
Mm-hmm.
But as the more I read into Rebecca, the more I notice that, yes, for us, the effect might be gone, but for her, that effect, that everything that she witnessed and saw, and her being the only one and not being able to talk to anyone about it, really shows it's taken a toll on her. So that feeling of it being eliminated is slowly going away from me. I'm actually starting to notice that for Rebecca, it's really traumatizing, and it's not just been skipped.
I wonder who told you that was gonna happen.
I don't know. Some guy.
This guy must know his shit.
Some guy, bro. I don't know who he is.
I could have sworn I
think it
remember
was
someone
King.
telling
It's
me.
definitely King. It's definitely King.
See,
But yeah,
honestly, like you said,
Rebecca's trauma is really making you actually feel that loss. that was there for that World 29. The other thing I want to ask, do you think we're ever going to see World 29 again?
Maybe.
I would like to. Kind of like an editor situation where we have an arc about it, and then it gets left behind, maybe.
I wonder if Rebecca truly does master her ether gear, if she'll be able to travel between the worlds.
Because that, I think, would be... Bro, she's going to travel between all 30 worlds.
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah. So that's a theory I have, where she kind of has this, in terms of DC Comics, she has these powers like the Flash, where the Flash could travel right between worlds and between time, shit like that. But he had to master it before he was able to do that. I'm wondering if Rebecca's gonna have that same ability, because you notice the more she mastered it, the more she was able to move faster and move back and stuff like that when she was fighting that YouTuber that was added to the manga. I forgot his name. The Russian guy. But yeah, the one that said anime saves the world.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's gonna happen, because we know her tears and her sadness kind of stopped Draken Joe's bullet, and we know that because of what the afterword for Volume 10 said. It was either Volume 10 or Volume 9, right? Where he talks about how she and Shiki had this thing, and that's why he was able to connect to Draken Joe's past. Because think about it, Shiki, just with gravity magic, can't connect to his past. He needs someone who's able to manipulate time and space. The only character that could do that he knows is Rebecca. So I wonder how really overpowered she actually is once she masters her thing. Because right now she didn't even know she had one, right? Remember, she learned about it in the.
As far as I remember, she didn't even expect to even be because she kept asking, "Is it possible to learn it, or is it possible that it awakens later?"
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of it kind of caught her by surprise. I think when she was in the bath scene, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. When she was in the bath looking at the sky or the outer space, and you see her leg glow, and she's like, "Holy shit!" So I'm curious to see how much Mashima develops Rebecca, because right now she's probably the most overpowered at full strength.
In theory, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to get into power levels like you said, but in theory, she could be the most powerful, just simply because she would be able to manipulate time and space, which she kind of already did in chapter 98 when she stopped the bullet from hitting Shiki in the forehead again. So I'm intrigued by that shit. So enough about chapter 99. We got chapter 100, triple digits, like you said, big old 100, and it's called Eden's One. So, and then I like the cover. It's a cute little chibi display of the cast.
And it kind of winds down from the big hype we've been having, because obviously the fight's over, and it kind of just gives you this sense of
not a
relief.
Reset, but more like a relief. We're like, all right, big bad over, chill out, you're good, breathe. Now we got to talk about motherfucking
Noah,
the Guildmaster. Yeah, what a guy.
Noah. So, find out in this chapter, Noah isn't exactly who he says he is. Yes, he is the Guildmaster, but he says it's only a front, so it's an alias. So he is the Guildmaster, but that's not his actual role. That's not his job. And he's actually the GIA director overseeing the whole of the Sorcerer. GIA. I thought it was what's an acronym?
Oh, yeah. Galactic Interspace
Intelligence Agency.
Yeah.
So GIA, GIA, however you want to say it, GIF.
No, don't you ever.
Of the whole Sorcerer cosmos. And we learn that that's where a mirror is from, the girl that can copy people's looks and memories.
Yeah. So I'm surprised the mirror is getting more of a prominent role. Well, not
I'm happy
prominent, but
she's hot.
Yeah, she's been featured a lot more recently. I like Rebecca's pout when she's talking to Noah. I found it hilariously adorable.
It was adorable, and I love Homura's reactions overall in this. I think we had about
She,
4 paddles of just her reacting,
she's
like,
like, bruh.
bruh, what? It's great. Homer is adorable to me.
Homer's, yeah, she's
She's
hilarious.
she's great. Um, and we actually see Rebecca's. I'm gonna honestly asking to talk to Noah alone to me shows a couple of things. She's trustworthy of Noah, despite learning what they've just learned. But also, I think it shows that she knows that if anything goes south, she might actually have the confidence in her own abilities to make sure that she doesn't get in too much trouble. That might be me overthinking it. But again, everyone was worried to leave her alone for obvious reasons.
It shows maturity in a way, right? And it shows that she's quick on her feet. She's realizing that world world A is not the same as world B, and I gotta make sure that whatever happened in world A, I don't have happen in world B, because I don't want the same effect.
Let's see. So they talk about Connor, the person that Rebecca brought up and no one else remembered. You can see there's obviously a little bit of a panel where she brings up, I wanted to ask about a man named Connor, question mark, and obviously a bit of an off-screen explanation of the fact that, that she remembers Connor, but no one else does. It's not even a case that they don't remember him, it's a case that they never met him.
Yeah.
And Noah himself can't figure it out either, because he said there's no discrepancy at all from anything else, except for that one thing. And Connor, for those of you who don't remember, is the person who got them. It's meant to take 3 days, but he's the person that got them there in one day.
He's the captain now, motherfucker.
Yeah,
He's
he
the
got there in one
captain
day through the debris and everything, and all of them were a little bit suspicious of him. But the fact he managed to do it, and he did it out of the kind of his heart, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of intrigued to what he was wanting to do. And Connor was such an interesting character in World 29.
And he came out of nowhere as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was just in outer space with a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
Which obviously foreshadowed what happens in World 30, which happens later on in this chapter, right?
So they have their talk, and they bring up the possibility of another cat leaper out there. It is a possibility. How that might interact if there is another one is going to be quite interesting. Is it be a case that this cat leaper is coming from the other side of the number spectrum, or she's coming from number 1, or are they both jump in worlds at the same time or simultaneously?
It could be interesting if if Rebecca has the equivalent of a reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be
that would be a good fight.
That would be a good fight, because they would obviously be matched toe to toe. Ooh, that'd be interesting.
And
I'll
that'd be a
talk to
hot fight.
Mashima. I'll talk to Mashima. I'll
I
let him
thought
know
you were
what happened.
Mashima. So the conversation happens, and it leaves off with Noah saying that I'll look into it. I don't think he's really going to be able to find much. I don't think he will want to
Yeah,
either.
because Noah has God Eye, right? So for those who don't remember, he basically sees when there's a new world and the leaper ability. So I'm interested to see how powerful Noah's God Eye actually is. But after that, we kind of transition over to liability, trying to apologize and talk
Labilia,
to.
that's the name.
I
That's
don't
what.
give a shit
No, I'm just saying
about her
that's
name,
what's
sir.
talking that lot of it. So it's Labilia, just
No,
for
no,
those
yeah,
who weren't sure what we were going with. But yeah, Labilia. Whereas
yes,
liability, she's kind of cute. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, her name is Labilia. Labilia. Yes, I knew her name, but I don't like her, so I'm calling her Liability. It's better than calling her what they call Malty in Shield Hero. Just remember that.
I just remembered her name sounds like labia.
Wow, wow, what a guy. What a guy. Anyway, ignore this gentleman. So basically, Lavilia and I was about to say the word you said. Lavilia and Rebecca talk, and she apologizes, and they have this little moment, and then Lavilia just goes back to her old antics. So there's that.
I think they're
And
going to
then,
become great friends. I'm just
I
saying.
hope they don't. I hope to God they don't. And then Lavilia's trying to do her best Naruto impersonation because you're never going to beat me. I'm gonna be Hokage.
You seem a little pressed, you know.
Nah, never. Oh, then we got best girl eating a sandwich.
And we got a nice little panel of Homura, Shiki, Weiss, Pino, and Happy kind of standing there staring at Mother, who I think this is the third time we've now seen her in a panel. First time was when we
You can
first saw her.
How dare you skip the panels between Sylph,
I was going to get back to
Jin,
that. Don't worry.
and Sister Ivory? How dare you? We're
I
going
was
in
gonna...
order, sir. Jesus,
Sister Ivory has like one panel, bro.
bro, you gotta check. It's 2 panels, and you go to the next page, and then that's all. You're right. 2 panels though.
Okay, no,
But
sorry,
yeah,
it's actually 3 panels.
I'm
Yeah,
all
sorry, that's
joking
my fault.
aside though. No, all joking aside though, I'm kind of interested to see if Lady Klein, aka Sylph, and her brother will be joining the group.
I would love that because I'm actually a big fan of Jin. I think he's actually a pretty cool character, and I think him and Shiki might actually have really good chemistry.
Him and Shiki could be the equivalent of Natsu and Gajio.
Yeah, 2 hotheads that
And
go at each other, but they can work together if needs be.
definitely, yeah, or for people who don't like me comparing the series, I think Goku and Vegeta, where they're the same in the sense that they got Overdrive and Ether Gear,
And they're always going to be
but
trying to one up each other.
they always try to one up each other, but they have this sense of respect towards one another. Because if you remember Jin, when they first met, Jin was like, "All right, I'm out." His whole objective was to kill Shiki. It
Shiki.
was more, yeah. Again, I'm sorry for the the parallels, but I do see some parallels with Fairy Tail, and that's not a bad thing because I feel like Mashima's taking the best parts of Fairy Tail and making them better in Eden Zero, because I do feel like Eden Zero is the better written series and the
Well,
better.
he said it himself. He's going to be focusing more on actually planning
Mhm.
the series, which means taking stuff from somewhere that he's already used and making it better than what it was. Which is
Yeah,
why the Shiki death, I think, was actually, something that no one expected, and it completely caught everyone off guard.
it
So
was
he is actually
basically
definitely improving.
it was basically Grey dying, but this time he made it legit.
That's basically what it was.
But it was very powerful when he did die because it showed you that anybody could die even if he is the main character, and we didn't even see him for the whole next chapter, literally titled a world without Shiki. So that's kind of crazy to think that Mashima was able to do stuff like that. So I am kind of like you said, I am kind of interested to see if Jin and his sister. I know they have real names, but I call them Jin and Sylph just because I'm so used to calling him Jin and Sylph. I want to see if they do join the guild because it'll be interesting to see have 2 more Ether Gear individuals along with Shiki and the gang, and that'd be a very powerful team if you think about it, because they'd be very versatile. They have the essentially the 4 shining lights. We got the tech, we got the healer, we got the overall tank, and we got the swordsman, and then we got the engineer with Weiss. We got the dual wielding Phenom with Rebecca, and then we would have Jin and his sister. So that'd be pretty powerful team. I kind of hope that happens.
The one thing I want to know, maybe you might have an idea. Why are they not healing Sylph straight away? I wonder why. Because what's her name? Sister Ivory says, Gohu's emotions were stolen. A promise is a promise. I will heal her. That Jin is asking, why haven't you done it already? I think it's something to do with that It's just Ivory wants to do it over a period of time to try their best to maybe recruit them into the team.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen. I think that's what's going on here. I think he's Sister Ivory's pretty smart. Come on, she's best.
She
She
is.
knows what I think she's intentionally, not intentionally, because to the point where it'll harm her, but she's delaying it to the point where she could recruit them and they could see that they're valuable to the team and how valuable the team would be to them.
That's what I'm hoping. Maybe there's something else, but I think that's it. I think it's something along the lines of that.
It's kind of hope it happens. I mean, yeah, we have the same panel we saw in chapter, what is it, chapter 3 or 4?
The one where they go to the guild for the first time.
Yeah, correct. And we see Giant Sister, or not Sister, Giant Sister, Giant
Mother.
Mother.
Yeah, so that panel, I think it's the third, maybe fourth time that we actually see Mother in a panel herself.
We have her in chapter 2 where the giant color spread. We have her in the chapter called Adventurers, where I think there's 1 or 2 panels there, and then we have these panels over and this panel here. So yeah, you're right. We haven't really seen much of her.
There we go. Got all the times. So she debuted in chapter 2, like you said, and then there's a hologram in chapter 3, which is the same one that we're seeing now.
Yes.
So it's kind of like it's the first time that these lot are seeing it for the first time, like they did in World 29 and World 30. And then she is visually brought up in chapter 5 when Weiss appears, and then chapter 14.
I kind of like.
She's actually coming up a fair bit. Sister, hologram.
She comes up every so often just to remind the viewers or the readers that she's a thing and that's their destination.
So it looks like she does come up quite a bit, but she comes up enough. It looks like the chapters that she comes up in are actually chapters where it is, like you said, it's a reminder to not just the viewers, but also to the team that the end goal is Mother. Yes, this is what we're doing right now. We're trying to sort of save this person or do this, but we're trying to reach Mother at the end of it.
I kind of like after we see Mother, we have Shiki shouting, "It's finally time to start our quest to find her." And then we have each of them stating their wish. Obviously, Rebecca's is to be the number one VTuber. I mean, all she's got to do is learn how to center her goddamn camera. Because if you saw chapter 15, chapter 59.5, which is the symposium on Make, you see how horrible she is. She looks like a regular YouTuber not knowing what to do, which is hilarious. We have Shiki obviously sticking with his good old naivety and wanting to befriend Mother.
Dude, watch Mother just turn around and be like, get the fuck up my fucking... Shut up, man.
He's like,
get out of my office.
He's like, you get one wish and you ask for to be my friend? Here's a plushie. Get the fuck up. We have Weiss literally say he wants cash, beautiful women, and then we don't know what else the end is because we cut off. We have Happy channeling his inner fairy tale Happy and asking for a lot of fish. And then we have Pino being adorable and wanting to be human.
Bro, if Happy's a robot, how's he gonna eat the fish? I'm just saying, like, why not actually eat the fish?
And then we have Homura asking to meet her mentor.
Bro, alright, cool. That's just breeze past my question.
I can't answer your question,
I
sir.
know I'm giving you shit. And Shiki wants to go back to Granbell one last time because maybe everyone's back to normal. Remember, this is World 30. Did the same thing happen? Did something slightly different happen? Or is it a case that everything's the same as it was? This is where the jump.
Holy shit!
The jump to me, right now. I'm going back to the Flash here because I did used to watch the CW Flash, right? The first time Barry time jumps, right? Everything in the past, right, was the same except for his father's death or mother's death, right? Now with Eden Zero, is it a case of when she jumps from fucking World 29 to 30, right? She flipping jumps on, I don't know, 4th of May to 4th of May in World 30. Everything before that was everything the same, and when the split happens, everything after that is different, or is everything before different? Like, that's what we know. Everything before is different. Well, some things are different because Connor's not there, but how much changes? Is it a completely different parallel?
Holy shit! I kind of spaced out because I forgot. I remember that we were in a different world, right? But I forgot that it was World 30, and I forgot that what happened in World 29 doesn't necessarily mean it happened in World 30. So holy shit!
That's what I'm excited to see, and I hope. I don't know. I don't know if I want it to be the same or want it to be different. Because I liked what happened, but I'm actually very excited for that to see Granbell again. Because I actually quite liked, what was it, Ziggy. I actually quite liked him as a character, and I'm hoping to see him again.
Well, we might know what happened because if we go towards the end, we know that we see the faded Eden's one, and what do you know? It's a fish.
Fucking fish, bro. God
It's
damn.
a
And
fish.
who is on it? Captain
My
Connor.
boy, goddamn Captain Connor. What I find interesting though is I was wrapped up in something warm like a family, and in the dream I let myself. No, it doesn't matter. So it seems Captain Connor might be a leaper too because look. Oh, I was just having a dream as though I was wrapped up in something warm like a family. So maybe he's talking about how he was with the Eden Zero crew.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. Find out.
And he's talking about keeping a promise.
The Eden's one is setting sail for a Grand Bell. So we have Eden Zero going to Grand Bell. We have the Eden's one going to Grand Bell.
Now, does Connor remember them? Or remember Rebecca at least?
We don't know. And the fucking most trippy part is Ziggy is waking up.
Yeah. You know he's waking up because it's the sound effects that are on there. Whoosh, man's turning on. It's like Andrew turning on in the morning. Wakes up, zoom, ready to moderate.
I mean, that did sound like a lightsaber, so we might get sued by Disney, but okay.
And 101 is going to be called Singularity. Just want to quickly talk about that.
I wonder what it'll be. I mean, I did kind of see the leaks because I was.
See, I avoid the leaks myself because I actually like to go into the chapter blind.
Ooh. So, what do you think is going to happen?
So, I know you haven't watched Fate. I just want to touch on Fate, what's happening in the game on that, right? Everything. Shut up, man. Every chapter that I have is called a singularity, right? Some guy's gone into the past and he's fucked shit up, dropped something where it shouldn't be there, and now they have to go back and fix it. Yeah? I wonder if something like that's going to be happening with the different worlds. Someone, maybe Connor, maybe someone else, is going through these different worlds and messing things up, or maybe every single time Rebecca does it, she throws stuff out of balance. And now they've got to fix it.
So basically, Legends of Tomorrow.
I stopped watching that like season 2, I ain't gonna lie.
But yeah, that's basically them going through time.
But yeah, so something like that. Is it because Rebecca's messing up or someone else is messing it up and they've got to fix it? That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So we're about to hit like 100 worlds.
They'll never reach both. At this point, it'll be like One Piece and go on forever.
Oh, gee, please no. Oh, God. They haven't even found a One Piece. Okay, let's not go into the One Piece fandom. They'll attack us.
I don't give a fuck.
So with Eden Zero, we have a lot to look forward to.
You like swerve.
We have a lot to look forward to. All right.
No, yeah, there is so much going on in Eden Zero, and I'm excited to see what's going on. I know you're excited because just the way you talked about the series so far. I'm glad that you caught up to see the hype that
I'm
is
excited.
Eden Zero.
I'm very excited.
I am gonna make a prediction. I already made it on Discord, but I did say that by July 28th that week, or sometime that week, the Eden Zero anime studio will be announced.
Okay.
So
hopefully,
I might be wrong.
Please.
I might be right,
Be
but
ufotable, please.
I was kind of right, and I'm being humble here, but I was right with the whole when the anime was going to be announced, because I did say that it was going to be announced the week that the Fairy Tail game was originally supposed to come out. And if you remember, the Fairy Tail game was originally supposed to come out on the 26th of June. And the announcement for the series anime was actually on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
On the on the 23rd it officially came out. So yeah, on the 23rd it was officially announced, and on the 26th of June the game was supposed to come out. So I kind of think same thing's gonna happen here. 31st is when the game officially comes out. 31st or 30th, it changes like we talked about earlier. So I expect the anime studio to be fully announced, or some other Eden Zero related announcement to come out on the 28th, just because same thing happened last time. And I think this is Kodansha kind of showing the love and appreciation they have for Hero, right? Because essentially the last week of June was basically going to be a Mashima week, where you get your Fairy Tail 100 chapter, you get your Eden Zero chapter, you get your Eden Zero announcement, and then you get to play your Fairy Tail game. And same thing could kind of happen on the 28th, with the game coming out, because on the 28th the new chapter for Fairy Tail comes out, a new chapter for Eden Zero comes out, and on 31st the Fairy Tail game is supposed to come out. So I expect a Mashima related announcement that week, and I expect it to be the anime studio. So fingers crossed. But that's where I'll leave that. And if I'm right, just saying I'd be 3 for 3. I was correct with Boruto getting canceled in March. I predicted that in October of 2019, down to the month, and literally, like I literally said, at the end of March, it's getting X'd. It got X'd. I predicted the anime announcement, and now I'm predicting this. So I don't usually make predictions, but when I do, they're wild guesses.
Okay, so talking about the photo again, let's move on to 100-Year Quest. Let me think, King, are you here? He can finally talk. I feel sorry
King's
for the
like,
guy.
Jesus Christ.
These
He's like,
motherfuckers just
y'all
don't
wasted.
stop fucking talking.
Y'all don't stop talking about Eden Zero. God.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
but
actually
ladies, you're actually what?
cooking dinner right now.
Oh.
Hey, what are you making us?
All right. Yeah. It's like French toast.
I keto these days.
Nah, he's making Canadian.
Ooh, actually, this is off topic, but not kind of on topic because we were talking about samurai and this related to Naruto. I was eating ramen the other day. It was pretty good. I hadn't eaten it in a while. Since my heart attack. So literally like 6 months ago.
Sodium
But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. No, let's talk about Fairy Tail before the fandom's like, y'all just Eden Zero fans, y'all Fairy Tail haters.
Alright,
And
so
then we're gonna have the Fairy Tail fandom call us. What was the terminology they used? Nalu cultist, and what?
Yeah.
What else was that fucking
well, the
idiotic
insult
word?
he used, I'm not gonna repeat because I don't think YouTube would let us.
Yeah, he calls us beastie. Just look up don't look.
Well,
up
he
the
calls
internet.
you a beastie.
Yeah, even though I
But
don't like Nalu, I think we've established. Look at the Discord. I like
he
their
tolerates
dynamic. I like their dynamic, but that's about it. I don't want them together. I don't want them banging. I don't want them having babies. I just like their chemistry. Jesus
So
Christ.
I was gonna ask King to give the wrap up because the poor guy's barely spoken. But if he's cooking right now,
I mean, I've got it on the stove. I can absolutely give a quick summary of the last 2 chapters. So for
58 and 59.
I like how the background is just the stove going on and going, the sizzling of his food.
I might have oil, so if I burn my house down, you guys.
That's fine. It's for the podcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll figure a way to edit that out.
No, don't
Keep
edit
it,
it
keep
out.
it, keep it, keep it.
This is beautiful. What are you doing? Don't edit it out.
Anyways, chapter 58 basically starts off.
No,
Actually pretty
okay,
soft.
first of all, chapter 58 is titled Ice and Water.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, you gotta tell them the title. You can't just be like, "Oh, chapter 58, here you go." Come on, guy.
The title was that important, but fair enough. As far as the content of the chapter goes, it pretty much begins
Oh my god, I can't even hear you because everything behind you
Dude,
is
I'm just
like
hearing
so
your
loud.
stove going right now.
somebody else. Then I'll come in later.
Right. So we've got
Okay,
ice and water. You
yeah,
want to do
if
it,
you
Spidey?
want, yeah, I'll do it because I haven't done them. So the chapter for Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest was
Bro, talk properly, man. None of
Ice
this
and Water.
nonsense.
No, yeah, but so chapter 58 was Ice and Water, as many of you could predict. The chapter was heavily focused on Gray and Juvia. The one thing I did make mention of before is if you look at chapter 57's cover page, and then you look at chapter 58's cover page, they're kind of connected, where Juvia is at basically standing there and Gray's asking her to dance. And if you look at the background of the chapter 58, it makes sense that they're connected because you have Jalal and Urza dancing and they're both being shy and like embarrassed, and you have Natsu and Lucy dancing where Natsu's having a time of his life and Lucy's like, "Whoa, man!" Like she's a little like flustered, if you will. So that was a nice little comparison thing where you got to look at both covers for it to make more sense. We have what was the guy's name? This wood guy. What was his name? There was Gears. It was
Aldrin?
no.
You talk about the actual guy that.
Yeah. I'll draw. Whatever his name was. Okay, he's just we'll call him Groot. So we have Groot. He consumed Juvia, and then we have Gruvia madly sprung, if you will, because Gray said that she's basically his power to live. And then Gray usually in moments like this he uses Ice Shell, but this time he didn't. He used Juvia in a way where he used her to attack the enemy, which is smart. He used Juvia Freeze. He also used Juvia Geyser. So all his moves with Juvia in it, if you will. Juvia was having the time of her life because she didn't mind being used by Gray, right? Juvia Hammer.
Definitely didn't. Oh, she can hammer me anytime. What?
And then he used the Unison Raid with her. So one thing I'll give the Gray and Juvia is they've had the most Unison Raids together. They had one in
3 or 4?
yeah, 3 or 4. I know one of them was anime exclusive with the Daphne arc.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if we're counting that, but I am. We had the Grand Magic Game ones. I think they had one in Tartaros. No, they didn't. I lied. And then this one. So yeah, it was only 3 if you count the anime, 2 if you don't. But they still had the most out of everybody. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting because if you remember Unison Rays, you always have to have the same breathing and everything's got to be in sync. And the fact
It
that
just
they're
shows
able
their
to,
connection.
yeah, exactly. It shows how connected they are, even if Gray's being a dumbass and acting like they're not. And then, dude, the attack, the ice wave attack looks so beautiful.
Well, Juvia Geyser, just beforehand, that looked great the way that was drawn out. Ueda is doing a
Yes.
major. It's impressive the way he's doing it. It comes out really well done, and it's very obvious that it's a mixture of water and ice. It's very obvious to tell that he's freezing Juvia, but not all of Juvia is getting frozen, and Juvia herself is also manipulating her own water itself. See, look,
This is her response to being used by Gray. Ah, this is the best. like she clearly loves the fact that Gray is actually like utilizing her in a way where they could both fight together, and I think that's
Being used and
something
abused.
she's. Yes, we'll go
That's
with that.
essentially what it is.
Yes, but no, yeah, you're right. I actually my one of my favorite panels in the series so far is this ice wave because you see them in the bottom, but then you see the entire attack and how badly screwed old boy is right here. Groot
And
is
you see Groot himself in there as well. It's very obvious to see where he is, and you very obvious to see the damage it's done to him.
yeah, dude, it's so amazing.
It's very detailed, very accurate, and you know everything in that panel is so well placed. From
Metro.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go on.
I would say that everything's so well placed, and when you go into the panels after, you know, same thing again. Everything's just so well placed. It slowly zooms out, and it goes from behind the angle, and it's just so well placed. Everything is in where it's
I like
supposed
it.
to be.
I like it a lot because it's just. And then we'll talk more about this in chapter 59. But I really like Yuta's art style because it's very similar to Mashima. So you do realize that it is a fairy tale sequel in the truest sense, but it still has he still has his own flavor. And I know we called him Groot, but that's why I was shouting Metro because his name is apparently
Oh yeah, even
Metro.
Metro's fallen. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So
I like Groot better, if I'm honest.
I like Groot better too, but legal ramifications didn't allow Mashima to call him Metro. I'm pretty sure Metro is apparently the four branches of Algeron are video game references. I'm wondering if Metro is a reference to Metro Exodus, Metro Last Light, and Metro.
Could be.
What was the other one? There was a third one.
Can't remember the name, but it could be a reference to it if we're going with game references, and it's very likely because I know Mashima does pay attention to the gaming industry itself.
Oh yeah, he's a super gamer.
Exactly. So it could be.
I loved this chapter because after we see this, and we see the first half of the chapter is Metro's fight with Gray and Gray destroying him, and then we have the king literally looking and being like, "Oh my God, Metro fell," but then we focus on Gray and Juvia themselves, right? Uh, where she's basically like, "Oh, my lips hurt. You gotta give me CPR." And you just see Gray
They go back
kind
to the
of.
dynamic. They go back to how they always
Mhm.
are. She's wanting him, and she's trying to like flirt with him. And Gray knows it, but he's a little bit shy. And he's like, "No, you're fine. You're good."
But he gives her a head pat, which is something he wouldn't have done before.
Exactly. It shows that he's actually starting to show his affection a bit. I think that
And
should be
in
an
the
emote.
next page, and of course you do because you like Juvia. And in the next page,
Gives her a little bit of a cuddle.
he gives her a little bit of a hug slash cuddle slash, like when you're hugging your girl, but you don't really want to hug her, but you're like, all right, I'll give you a hug. It's awesome. Gray playing it right. He still looks. She's overly. You could see the excitement in her smile, and Gray's like blushing, but he's still trying to look like he's a badass, because he just defeated
Yeah.
Metro, but he's like, yeah, I know it's a piece
Juvia
shit, but
knows. Juvia knows he loves her. Juvia knows. That's why she's
yeah,
been patient. She knows.
at this point, I do agree with that. Previous, in the main series, I'd be like, no, you're crazy. But given how they've developed in this sequel series, I do agree. I do like how for most characters they have an outline. So they have Yuta draws a character and then it has like a little outline at the back.
It's like it's got like a little fine line, so you can actually,
Yeah.
you can tell. It is nice. I've been noticing that a couple of times as well, especially when the characters are the main focus of the panel.
I liked it. I don't know if it's just because apparently I'm a Groovia shipper now, but I liked it because I was like, okay, it kind of tells you where they are and stuff like that, so it doesn't make it too hard to notice. But like I said, this whole chapter was Gray and Juvia just kicking ass, and then towards the end, we have fucking motherfucking thickest girl show up. So we have Gray and Juvia going back to the city, and we have everybody talking about Alderaan and how he's too big, and we hear this, we see somebody talking, and then out of nowhere we see Brandish, and she's like, if you came here to try some Alderaan parfait, it's a little too late for that. Like,
She's on a dessert spree again.
yeah, she wanted those mangoes, not Lucy's, but actual mangoes, and now she's just here for parfait. And the best part is, she talks about how she basically flexes on them, right? She's like, "Don't you remember what they call me? Brandish, the Nation Destroyer." So she's kind of flexing on them, reminding them that, look, you know what? I could make things really big. I could make things really small.
The thing is, Brandish is insanely powerful, and we all know she could wipe the floor with majority of the cast.
Yeah.
So I am excited for the fact that she's because we all know Mashima and Ueda are a fan of Brandish. I mean, whenever she is on screen, she is drawn very generously. Very generously, you know. A lot of the hair is a nice focus. You can tell the personality has come out.
Her acids are very well defined in that.
Exactly. So, sorry, back to what you were saying before I.
No, yeah. No, go get a cup of water. Drip, drip, drop. But so she talks about how their enemy is a dragon. I kind of saw it as her saying that she can't use her power on just anybody, because I know she couldn't use it on August, right? But she was able to use. I wonder if her magic is where she could use it on people who are weaker than her,
or equal strength.
Yeah, equal strength or weaker than her, because she was like, our enemy's a dragon, so obviously the person who should fight Alderaan should be a dragon or a dragon slayer, and that's why they all look at Gajio. So
And also, he's the only dragon slayer there at the time, because Natsu is
Yeah.
fucking fighting what's his name inside the thing,
Mhm.
Alderaan himself.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting.
And I think that would be really. I would love to see it because I love Gajio as a character, and I think his combat style is one of my favorites. It's very aggressive, and he doesn't really care too much about defense, considering the fact that he's an Iron Dragon Slayer. So his defensive is within his nature because he can just fucking metal up his body. But he's very aggressive, and it's very simple with his fighting style as well.
It's like, yeah,
I'm
gonna get
shit out of you, and I'm
gonna get a lance, stab the shit out of you. I'm gonna get a blade, cut the shit out of you. We good.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to complicate shit. And then I find it interesting because I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But so we had two Groovia. Next chapter, which we'll talk about after I finish discussing this chapter 58. We have Jerza, and Alderaan will be about Gajio and Levi, because we're kind of seeing each pairing get their moment of shine.
That's one thing actually I wanted to bring on. I forgot. It seems like the sequel. So the whole fairy tale itself, we kind of each character got their own bit of arc. Oza had the Tower of Heaven. We learned about her along, and then Jalal came a little bit after. Natsu we learned when we started learning about him wandering the towns when Ignil disappeared. Juvia we got when they talked about her growing up and always having rain around her. Every character got their individual little arc. It seems like the sequel is focusing a lot on pairings of the arc. So they're starting to take the pairings and giving them a development arc each. Maybe not an arc, but a development time period each.
Well, yeah, because they don't need extensive development, because the development's been there the whole series.
It's happened, exactly. It's got to a point now where all Ueda needs to do now is actually just set it in stone.
Yeah, because like the way they did it with Gray and Juvia here was we already know they had established what happened in the previous series. We know that Juvia had interest for Gray, and we knew Gray had some interest. And even in chapter 545, he basically tells her that her body is his, so we know that he has some affection towards her. We have these 2 chapters where he basically is like, she's my will to live. She's the reason I'm still alive and the reason I'm still fighting. So they're using the development they had, but actually using it in a way where it makes more sense and makes the pairings canon. Because for me, canon means that they're an item already, right? Or
Yeah,
they're close to being
that's
an
how I
item.
see it.
So
There's
this,
definitive proof that they are together.
yes, correct. So this
Which, like,
basically gives it
Gojevi.
definitive proof. Exactly. So this kind of gives it definitive proof that, you know what, they're a thing. Like, okay, yeah, they're a thing. Like, you got to be blind or ignorant to not think they're a thing, because they're clearly a thing.
Or if they're not a
So
thing, it's going to happen very soon. And
no, yeah.
there's no turning back now. It's there.
Exactly. Like they showed that it's gonna happen. So you can't deny that it's gonna happen because they have already shown. And now if we go back to the chapter, the last few pages, we see Loxus and Gears, which basically looks like Gagio, but with like
You mean July?
Yeah, my God, I keep calling him Gagio.
You said
Jesus.
Loxus.
No, I know. Can you tell I'm not a Jalal fan? Now we see Jalal. I'm kidding, people. Jalal's like whatever to me.
Kura's going to step
We
down now.
We see Jalal and Gears just talking, but they're getting ready to fight. Gears literally says playtime is over, and then we have Jalal. I was going to call him Gagio again. Jesus. Jalal with Gears on his body, so shit is going down.
Leads into chapter 59, Gears of Fate.
Gears of Fate, which
or
is,
as Taylor has called it. For those of you Fate reference, it's Unlimited Gears Works. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to bother explaining it. But the Fate fans will laugh.
Gears of Fate is kind of a play on words to Gears of War, the Xbox series.
I thought about that as well.
We have the credits page, and then we I gotta say, this chapter was a bitch because there was so many redraws, and the person who did them, Myra, I don't remember the last part of her Twitter handle, but they were amazing.
Katchan.
Yeah, Myra Katchan. Yes, she's clearly a Bakugo fan. Second best character in My Hero Academia. Smart girl.
This is one of Nix's friends, isn't it?
I'm not sure. Probably.
Oh.
Every My Hero Academia person is probably a friend of one another. So we have. Oh God, I keep fucking trying to call him Gagio. We have Jalal fighting Gears, and then we just see that his movements are slowed down. So basically, the Gears gave him like slow speed and slow attack and everything. And we have Gears just chilling. Literally, people got mad at me for saying this, but Gears was beating his ass. Jalal was getting wrecked for most of the chapter. Gears even changed his look to, at one point he changed his look to Urza, and it was kind of interesting to see Urza as a bad guy. I like that panel where he's literally just Jalal saying Urza, and we have Urza just like ready to punch him, and she just punches him, and he switches and punches him. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So after that, this is where I was talking about the Jerza moment, right? We have Loxus basically asking about her boyfriend.
And you see, she gets a little bit flustered by it.
Yeah, he's like, I love the character interactions in Fairy Tail because you could tell they they've been friends for such a long time. The way the dialogue is written, and that has to do with the original translation and the way that uh Lexley translate Ivan Tell translates it, because that guy does a great job. I love the fact that it's not guns, it's just fireworks. Um, in case people hear that, they're like, "Oh my god, nah, I'm fine. It's just fireworks." I basically like how Loxus is like Urza says, "But I can't sense Jalal's magic. If I don't get to him, Loxus just with a straight face, your boyfriend ain't that weak." And then you just see Urza like panic and get like, "What? No, he's not my boyfriend." And then you have Loxus with the smuggest smile in his face. He's like, "Okay, buddy, okay,
Whatever you say.
you believe what you want." I like how Gears ends up switching back to Urza. He's basically telling Jalal that Urza's gonna kill him, and then can we talk about the
babes. About
I
babes
wanna biggest booty around?
getting booty tier. Sorry, all tier.
Yeah. So I want to talk about, it would be page 14 is the booty. The next
Yep.
page is O tier in entirety. I want to talk about how amazing Yuta drew her, because if you compare this image to the ones that Mashima has drawn, they're like identical.
The
Which,
only differences you can tell are the ones that are very minor discrepancies. For example, the way she's carrying the orb. Because I think Mashima always drew the orb in the same way,
yeah,
with the
Mashima
bubble on
always
the
drew
right hand side.
I think so. But I kind of like this because it shows that this is Yuta and not Mashima. So I love that. He drew her just as thick and just as
Proportionate.
yes. There you go. Man of culture, I see. And then we have Jalal just completely shook. He's like, "Wait, what? Oh, tier?"
And this also shows, with it being Altair coming up, the way that the Gears magics work is it manipulates time overall. It doesn't. It's not necessarily about affecting the person's magic ability.
Yeah. But see, I think this is the old. Well, no, she states it. This is the old tier that helped Wendy and Sharia.
Yeah.
I
Um,
love the fact that they're bringing back these not Easter eggs, but these references to previous chapters,
it shows
right?
it's not
Because
forgotten about.
yeah, exactly. It shows that they still remember what's going on. It's literally she says has been your body and thoughts have been stopped by magic. Time is standing still. This is a time distorted world. This happened once before. I can only exist in a world where time has stopped.
So that's why it makes me think. When I was first saw Gears as magic, I was thinking that it affects the person's magic itself. It affects how they use their magic or able to manipulate their magic. But when this panel comes up, you see it's actually manipulating time itself, or maybe around the person, or
That's
within the
crazy,
person,
bro. I,
or
I,
around the whole area.
exactly, yeah. I just find it fascinating. I wonder if this is how they bring old tier back for good.
I wouldn't mind seeing old tier more often. Wouldn't mind it. It'd be quite interesting. Given given her powers, I also would like this is going very far ahead, but if she does come back, that 1 minute of time that she rewound, the amount that changed in that 1 minute of time, she doesn't know how much changed there. She doesn't know how much that she thought she failed. She doesn't know how much that actually affected things.
I mean, yeah, in the long run, it did help, but
It'd be nice for her to actually be able to, be told that.
I'm just fascinated by this shit. Then we have the panel with the flashbacks. Basically, it's just basically talking about how Urza's will to live and how Jalal's her light and stuff like that. And then you have Voltaire literally saying, "Live for her sake. That is your new path." So we see Jalal throughout the series be consumed by guilt and resentment and hate. But she's telling him, "Don't do that. Give me a second." Yeah, no, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
Foundation. Talk about the foundation of the magic that Giz is using is guilt. So, King,
Yeah.
before we carry on, since you've been cooking, what did you think of the whole Altair situation that occurred? Or what do you think of the chapter?
What did you think of the chapter 58?
Yeah.
Well, for the first one, chapter 58, it was pretty much what I expected. Gray, being a typical man, using Juvia for her body, and then just kind of leaving her by the side as something else.
What a guy.
Oh, my days. I hate it.
Just messing with you. That honestly, that whole fight was pretty short, but honestly, I didn't expect it to be very long, so I thought it was fine. The Brandish appearance was just weird. I mean, we already saw her on the ship way back when, and it's just like, is she just going to be this like NPC character like in games that just randomly follows your party around to various places to sell you stuff? I mean, I don't know. This just seems very fan servicey.
She was kind of obsessed with Lucy in the main series.
Yeah, no, I know, but like it's just weird. Like, how does she know? There's no real like
explanation
determined goal. It's just vaguely about Aquarius's key, and like I feel like Mishima's, well, Yuta in this case, is just doing it more for the sake of fun and having her around, which is like, I like the character. It just seems very random, and the end was pretty much what I expected. Jalal's gonna fight Metro. Is it his? Wait,
no,
this one's not Metro. Is he? What's his name?
No, Gears.
Gears, right. Metro's the one Gray fought, right.
Correct.
Yeah, so then this fight, like, finally, it's like Jalal finally letting go of all that, like, shit in his past. Like, it only took, like, 300 chapters. I mean, geez.
No, it took more than that.
I mean, I'm spitballing the number, but roughly speaking, yeah, I think I agree with anybody else who was upset that he was just taking so long, and now he finally has a fight to his name that he won. Essentially, well, maybe not entirely by himself, depending on how you view the Yotier situation. But like, okay, fine, he's accomplished something. The Yotier situation, like, yeah, I mean, like, it is kind of the same thing as like a repetition of what happened during Wendy and Shelia's battle with Di Maria in the Alvarez War, but like, I don't know. I don't feel like complaining about it. Overall, I was pretty satisfied with the chapter, and I'm just kind of curious to see what happens next.
One thing that we do need to get to is Jalal essentially transferred all his guilt, all his sin, everything to Seagrain, his thought projection that we met in the beginning of the series when we were first introduced in chapter 1 to the Magic Council. So that was kind of fun. Kind of sad for Seagrain. Poor thought projection. They have lives too,
Thought projection lives matter too.
Do they though?
I mean,
he was able to communicate. He was able to talk. He was able to.
Kind of acted on his own, didn't he?
That he did. He did. So yes, he does.
Well,
King.
Kind of. Jeez. Like, well, we don't know how much of that was Jalal acting in the Seagrain persona. What?
So disrespectful.
Well, now we see where King lies with projection lives. Shake my head.
It's not particularly well detailed what thought projection magic totally is, but I get your point, and I actually think it was actually clever to bring back the Seagrain persona for this specific goal.
If you and then I'm getting ahead of myself. So then when with the Seagrain, Jalal uses the only move he's ever known in his whole life. Fucking Made of 7 stars, Jeju, Grant. I mean, beautiful panel. Don't get me wrong, it was a beautiful panel, but
Well,
he
he
used
also
Grand
knows Abyss
Cherry.
Break.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
but
he knows Mystic is magic.
how many
That
times
too.
he actually used it?
Yeah, but he
Basically
knows
saying
it.
the only magic he uses. He only
Well,
uses ever.
his signature spell, I guess you would say.
Yes, he uses Grand Chariot. Again, beautiful panel. But I don't really know if we could say that Gears is defeated, because if you look at the final page,
Yeah. No,
Seagreen
I
is still
agree
there.
with you. Well, I mean, I feel like
So
that could just be a matter of the resolution. The reason I suspect Gears could still be alive is particularly because the way that the final impact was shown is very, and I think intentionally obscure.
Yeah. I can go with that. The idea of him letting go of his guilt, he's obviously now gone all out against Gears. Is he aiming to kill Gears, or is he aiming just to knock him the fuck out?
I don't think he's like. I don't think I don't think he kills him. I think it'll be like it's the case with Metro, where they just vanish back into Elteron.
Yeah, possibly.
Or maybe,
But
you know what?
we...
Go on.
No, carry on. I actually don't know what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm still convinced that Gears will still have a bit more, because because of the fact that Gruvia
Actually,
had
that's
two
only been one
chapters.
chapter of the fight.
Yeah,
I think there could be
Gruvia
more.
had Gruvia had two chapters, and I don't expect Churza just to have one.
Yeah, I think that she...
Because
Ooh,
what is it?
Urza's going
What
to
is
turn
it?
up. And then they're going to do a unison raid. I'm calling it. It's going to be like a Heaven's Wheel, Grand Chariot kind of fucking...
Can you imagine Seagrade and Jalal freaking unison raid?
Bruh.
Urza would be the happiest girl, because clearly she's in love with Jalal, so double the action, I guess.
True. Fuck yeah, no.
But that's the end of the chapter. So overall thoughts, King already said he enjoyed the chapter. What about you, Dev?
I enjoyed the chapter. I'm a fan of Jerza. I like the idea of them, but obviously we don't say enough. I'm a fan of Jalal. I do wish he got a lot more, so he finally actually, got something and wasn't embarrassed by being tickled or fed hot chili.
Not
And
letting go of Grand Magic Games, are you?
I am looking forward to the next chapter. Hopefully, the fight continues. I kind of hope Gears isn't defeated and Jalal actually has to be like, all right, cool, I actually have to do something. And he's actually going to fight. We see more of his magic, because I am a big fan of his magic. The fact that he's got so much magic at his disposal, but he just doesn't utilize all of it, like you said. I would love to see him just use the magic again. Because I'm also thinking, when I'm reading these chapters, I'm thinking, I would love to see this animated. And I'm not gonna lie, every single scene that Jalal fights in, every single time he has magic, it's always a scene that I love seeing it in the anime. Because it always looks good.
Disgusting.
No, you.
No, I don't know. I guess I'm not really a fan of Jalal. Something about him.
Yeah,
I mean,
no shit.
Well, let's not get into
Oh,
that, because we'll be here for another 6 hours.
all right, guy. I can't even just casually say I'm not really a big fan. Sorry, I offended you.
It's like me saying I don't like Happy. It's like, of course you don't. We've made it evident.
We get that.
I've never said I don't like Jalal. I've said I don't like.
Yes, you did in the very first episode.
I said Mavis, Macau, and what's the other dumbass? Frosh. All right, I said to Jalal.
Yes, but you also made a very big stink about it too.
Bro, I'm
He
about
gets
to pull
too
up.
much. Jazz about to play the original tape.
I'm about to go find the tape, play it through my mic.
My thing with some of these characters is that they're often overhyped, and it kind of just takes away from them. So while I do like some of Jalal's magic attacks and some of his scenes, some of the fandom just I think that's one of the issues I have with Nalu. Yeah, it's a cool concept, but the fandom's like, oh, just okay, yeah, I get it. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyway,
there's definitely elements of that. Like anytime the two are together, like it goes from oh my god, she's giving him a hug to oh my god, they're gonna go have sex after the fight. It's like, where's this shit coming from?
Fucking fan fictions, bro. God damn.
the moment
That
she
too,
says
yeah.
anything, the moment she says anything with the letter N, oh, she's clearly thinking of Natsu. She said N.
Yeah,
She said N. It's like, oh my
like
god.
oh my god, she's gonna suck him.
For those of you at home, sucker means she's gonna get a lollipop out the freezer and she's gonna eat the ice cream. Okay, that's what's meant.
Jesus Christ, King, you're Canadian. You gotta be polite. She gonna blow him dry. You gotta say it like that.
Oh
I'm
god
just
damn
kidding.
it! Oh god
What's
damn
the
it!
difference?
God damn it! All right, so
Anyway,
to
no,
close
okay.
off, we spoke
No.
about the game. We're gonna have that channel for it. We are gonna contain all of you lot to that channel, and you lot can stay in there, right, and talk about it there. Because I'm not gonna get the game straight away, so I don't want spoilers. Yeah, because everyone in the server knows what I'm like with spoilers.
Because clearly you haven't fucking read the series, right?
No,
Oh,
I've never
wait.
seen it. Look, I just don't want spoilers for stuff that I haven't, that like the new stuff. Okay, you know what I'm like with
That's fair.
spoilers. You saw what happened after I got spoiled with Quince. It was not fun for the server. Right? And it's still not fun because every time someone doesn't mark there's a context mark their spoilers, I go off at them. Context your fucking spoilers.
Yeah. Dad's a bit of a stickler with spoilers.
But yeah, so there'll be a channel for it, guys. Look out for that. Also, I'm sure Spidey has something to say with all the donators and the boosters that are happening. The boosts that we're getting are great. We're getting them like every couple of days. We're at 47 boosts right now.
Yes.
With the donators, to all of you guys who are donating through the PayPal that we brought up, I'll let Spidey talk about it because I know it means a lot to him having that support in the server.
See, I was gonna make a joke, but I actually am very grateful of them, so I won't make a joke. But before I continue, because I know I'll probably go on for a good 5-10 minutes, King, is there anything you want to add? Anything you want to recommend? Anything you want to tell to the audience?
Um,
And that was King.
I
Thank you. I'm kidding.
I recently discovered that various flavors of Fanta make pretty good mix when you're mixing it with vodka. So if nobody's done that before, I definitely recommend that. It's totally
Might actually
unrelated to
try
Fairy
that.
Tail, but it's interesting and I like
Might
it, especially the
I
blue
mean-
and green ones.
I mean, it's good. I mean, most of the fandom is between 15 and 17, so they probably already drink. They're not supposed to, but they probably already do.
Don't worry, we won't tell your parents.
Well, I mean, they might drink, but they may not have experimented like us older individuals.
The cultured, if you will. That's
or the
pretty interesting.
alcoholics. Just call us
Dan,
what we are.
is there anything you wanna recommend like that?
If you are gonna drink, guys, all right, make sure that you drink responsibly, especially if you're underage, right?
And you drink at home.
And drink at home.
Drink at home.
Yeah, definitely don't drink and
I'm
drive.
sure that if you are gonna drink, right, please do it in a place where you're gonna be safe. If you do have an accident and you do pass out because you drank too much, flipping WKD 2% alcohol, just be careful what you do about it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, don't drink at a bar because Corona is still a thing, and you don't want to get it. And before I talk about the wonderful boosters, wearing a face mask is not a political statement. And if you think it's a political statement, let me know so I could just slap the shit out of you. All right. You're just being a decent individual wearing a face mask so you don't get your saliva and your spit and your nasty breath on others. It's not the end of the world. You don't want to wear it, don't go out. It's simple. It's not that hard. Easy
Keep your
concept.
distance as well.
Yes, exactly. I don't understand why it became such a political thing to wear a face mask. Like you don't.
Just people being idiots, bro. They're just being dumb.
It triggers the shit at me. But with that, King's like, that shit don't happen in Canada. We all polite. With that little rant out of the way, yes, I do want to thank the PayPal donations because the PayPal supporters we have enough PayPal support to be able to do one giveaway for a Fairy Tail game, right? So enough people, incredibly amazing, wonderful people that I cannot thank enough, because as many of you know, I just lost my job. I'm unemployed. My car broke down, so I had to sell it for scrap. My family left for 2 years. I have a lot of series of unfortunate events happening with me right now, and my current car that I have, one of them I had to sell for scraps, the other one's breaking down, so I don't know how I'm gonna do it. But the amazing, wonderful S-Class mages, because that's the role name, donated, and we have enough to do a giveaway for one of the games. What I'm thinking is, if all goes well, and here's hoping, crossing my fingers, knocking on wood, praying to the religious entities I believe in, I will try to have enough funds from my own to do a second giveaway. That way, the funds with the S-Class mages is for the general population. Obviously, you got to be a Team Natsu and above, because obviously you want to play Fairy Tail, you better be Team Natsu. You can't just be a regular guild member. And then the one I do would be for the boosters themselves, because it's a small way for me thanking them for supporting the server through these donations, through these PayPal individuals. We were able to start 2 Minecraft servers. I have them running for a year each. One's for the Java Minecraft, one's for Bedrock. The people in the Minecraft servers are amazing. We have them working on the Fairy Tail world and landscape. The Java is a lot more built because we have people like Rossi, Lizzie, Sarah, Saint Kirby, and others who are actively working on it. Bedrock isn't as developed because the development we did have, someone decided to be a troll and just burn everything down and destroy it.
Yeah,
So
not
we
fun, guys. Come on.
again, I try to do these things, and these people supporting the server are helping do these things so we could all have fun, not to do that type of stuff. So please, if you see it, report it, let us know so we can take care of it. Because no, it's kind of sucks that you're working really hard on something and then someone just goes there and ruins it. It's like, why you got to do that? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it really upset me because I worked so hard to get the server up, because the Bedrock server was having so many issues. Finally fixed it, and then I come in the next day to join the server on my account, and I just see that the guild hall is destroyed. The buildings around it are destroyed. It's like, really? We gonna do this? We're gonna act like kids? Obviously, I banned the user who did that. Fuck you for doing that shit. Probably don't even listen to it.
Dude
So
is a
fuck.
fucking rando as well, man.
Yeah, it was. The community overall is really great. So I know it wasn't anybody there. Like I said, I already know who it was. I banned them, made sure they can't join. But yeah, also kind of slight transition. Like I said, huge thanks to everybody who supports through the boosting of the server, which just makes us more discovered on Discord overall, and the people who support through PayPal, which just helps us fund some of these giveaways and some of these events we have with Minecraft. So again, a huge, great thanks. I can't thank you enough. Now, there is a contest for the new Discord icon, Discord invite, and the Discord banner. Rules and submission deadlines are in the server, so just look them up. It's just a fun way to get the community involved, especially because a lot of the community is artistic and artsy and designs. So I thought it'd be fun to have them design the stuff instead of just having this official Mashima content. I mean, I love the fact that we have official Mashima content as our icons and stuff like that, but having community-based items would be also cool. The submission deadlines are the 15th of July, and it'll probably run until, I mean, the icons and stuff like that will be up until most likely the anime comes out, or the anime is officially announced, or we get concept art for it. So it'll be up for a long time. If not, it'll be till September, whichever is later. The September or the anime concept art. Another thing is we have reached. How many members do we have, Dev?
I can check for you right now. So, members, we are at 7184, 7,184.
Yes, so we are at 7,184 members, and my goal was to have an Ask Me Anything. Obviously, some things would not be answered because privacy and
Because you
security
lot
reasons.
ask stupid questions sometimes.
They get well, that too, but I wanted to be more politically correct, and I don't want to offend people. But yeah, some people ask dumbass questions and they won't be answered. I was trying to do that at 7,000 members. Like I said, a lot of stuff has happened. At least to me, in in my living situation, the last 2 weeks. So I haven't had time for that. I am trying to host one. It'll probably be done by the time this podcast comes out. But if not, if the podcast hasn't come out by then, it'll probably start on the 10th of February, July, or
February, bro, I was gonna fucking say.
no, bruh. 2021, bitch. Nah, just kidding. I'll try to start it sometime next week in July. So July 7th or the 10th, one of those 2 days. Just so the fandom could interact with the staff and just ask anybody what they want. And final thing, our very own Nyx is owner of a fairy tale server. Not fairy tale. It's a Nalu server. If you're interested, you could join that. They're a lot more strict with the character bashing and character criticism because obviously it's a pairing server. So what the fuck's the point of you joining the server? You're just gonna bash the pairing. Doesn't make sense. It's like if you join a fairy tale server and you're just talking shit about fairy tale, the fuck's the point of joining it? You just look like a jackass. So yeah, if you're interested in joining the Nalu server, go ahead and join. There's an invite in the partner servers.
Affiliated servers.
Yeah,
The
affiliated
Princess
servers.
and the Dragon.
I hate the name. I told her I hate the name.
Yeah, we
Natsu
saw you hate the name.
Natsu
We know why you hate the name.
considers himself a goddamn human, not a dragon, not a
And
demon.
on that note, everyone, take
Peace
care
out.
before Spidey goes off on a rant.
And make sure you still wash your hands. Not that hard to wash your hands. Don't forget, wear a face mask.
Drink
Don't
drink
forget,
water. Remember to drink water.
Mashima posted that tweet where wearing a face mask and staying home is cool. You a fan of Fairy Tail, fan of Eden Zero, you'll wash your hands and wear a face mask.
You've got to
If
be
you're
washing hands
not-
after some of their characters anyway.
Yeah, you're washing your hands for a different reason.
People.
You sick.
Pepe wash.
By the way, guys, send Dav, Taros, and Lucy fan art.
I mean,
And with that, we're out.